So let me turn to Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, I had a chance to look at this order or your petition and refamiliarize myself. So what you seem to be detailing from your point of view is that you were subjected to assaults and so forth throughout the relationship. Maybe you can tell me why you've come to court to ask for this order now.
So it's throughout our relationship, it's been a physically and mentally abusive situation. And every time a physical situation happens to where I get hit or something, I feel more and more unsafe.
So how long, when did you start this relationship and has it ended?
Yes, it has ended. It started last September.
So September of 2024.
Yes.
And when did you end things?
Beginning of this month.
Okay, so when you filed for
Yeah.
this protection order, all right. And so that's a pretty long, 9-month relationship. So why come to court in June? What was it?
So the last straw was basically, I went to go leave. I was living at her parents' house and I went to go leave because we got in an argument. And I went to pull my car down the driveway and I was gonna drop off her daughter's child seat that was in the back of my car. So I grabbed that out of the back of my car and I put it next to the door, and she decides to go into my car and grab my keys out of my ignition because apparently her storage unit key was on there or something. So I walked over to her and grabbed my keys out of her hand. And then she decides to grab my vape out of my door of my car and then tries to walk away with it. So I'm walking with her trying to grab my vape out of her hand. And then
All right, so you got your keys back.
yeah, I got my keys
Okay,
back.
all
She
right.
has my vape. So I was trying to get my vape out of her hand because I was trying to leave. And she pulls back away from me and hits me in the top of the head with her iPhone. Like, had to have been like 6 times as hard as she could. So I was bleeding out the back of my head. And yeah.
And what did you do about what happened next? You get hit in the head, you're bleeding.
I just left because I got told by her parents to leave. So
Okay. And then where'd you go?
I went to urgent care that night to go get checked out to make sure it wasn't anything bad.
What did you find out from urgent care?
They just said it was a head laceration, so it was, and it was in the scalp, so it was bleeding a lot. So I was just worried about it.
So what was the treatment? What did you have to do to take care of yourself after that?
Basically just clean it up.
And so then that happened sometime, let's see, June 5th, you came into the court, which was a Monday, or sorry,
Yeah.
that was a Thursday.
Mhm.
So that happened sometime before then?
Yeah, that happened around the 15th of May, around there. I'm not exactly sure on the date, but
And you finally decided to come a couple of weeks later to the
yeah.
court. Okay. Anything else between the 15th and when you got to court on the 5th?
She just kept repetitively trying to contact me after I said that I didn't want to talk to her.
And how did she try to contact you?
Through multiple different phone numbers, her personal phone number, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, basically every social media you can think of.
And how did you tell her not to contact you anymore? What did you say, or how did you do that?
I told her that I didn't want to talk and I just needed a break, pretty much. So,
but didn't want to talk and you needed a break.
yeah,
So, any point did you say very affirmatively, don't call me, don't text me, don't social media me?
yeah.
How did you do that?
I said over the phone to not call me and to not text me. I was ignoring her, and she was calling me like hundreds of times. So it was a little bit repetitive.
You didn't want to talk, you needed a break. That tells me that maybe sometime later, but you say at some point you did tell her, don't call me at all, don't contact me at all,
Yeah,
more than just I need a break? Or was that how you put it? You thought it meant that, but did you put it in a different way?
I just needed a break from her in general. That's all I meant
How
by
did you
that.
tell her? What did you tell her? Did you think that you needed a break? Did you tell her you needed a break? Did you really want her just to leave you alone, but you didn't tell her? What?
I told her I needed a break.
Okay, all right. So that implies potentially there'll be something later. That fair?
Yes, but it's kind of a complicated situation because she's pregnant too. So
Okay. So what is pregnant with your child?
yes,
Okay, and so that's, you're hoping to have contact about that.
yeah,
possibility.
that's what
Got
it's.
it. All right, so hundreds of calls, what do you mean, hundreds of contacts? Is that an exaggeration, or what do you mean?
I submitted screenshots to the court of, she was making, online phone numbers and calling me from online phone numbers, and there's probably 1,000 calls in the screenshots of me, in the screenshots that I submitted.
And did you respond? It's hard sometimes to see screenshots and know who's saying what, because it's just the stream, I don't know who's saying
Yeah,
what to
well,
whom.
when you see, the emphasis was nobody else is gonna be calling me like 20 or 30 times in a row. So any of the numbers that were like calling me 40 times in a row, that was her trying to call me.
There's some that have some verbiage in them. And I can't tell what date they have a time maybe,
Mhm.
but I can't tell who's saying what. Think I can guess, but I'm not here to guess. When I look at this, there's something in blue and there's something in black. Do you need anything? No, I'm sorry. Can I call you? I'm not sure who's saying that on May 14th. I don't know if it's May 14th, but
The blue is the person taking the screenshot.
okay. Does that mean you or?
Yeah, so like if the blue is on the, would be, yeah, the cinder is blue.
Okay. And so.
And those are all from my perspective, so,
Okay, because I read something, are you still bleeding? And I'm presuming that might be Ms.
Yeah,
Williams.
that
You're
was
saying
that
yes.
night.
Okay. And then, kind of going back through all these, a lot, but yeah. All right, now, kind of stepping back then, the 15th, what happened there, being hit on the head is what caused you to finally come to court. Before then, you make a lot of statements in here. Let me get to, I'm looking at your petition. So there have been threats to kill you on the phone. You
Mhm.
shook the bed. She kicked you driving, pressed the gas pedal too hard. She smacked you in the head as hard as she could. She bit you. She threatened to call 911. I mean, it's just this litany, but I don't know when all this happened. Past instances. What does this mean over since September? These are the things that have happened to you?
Yes.
All right. Called you names, called you vulgar names. right? And so were those when she threatened to kill you on a phone call?
Yeah, and I
Tell me
do,
about
I do have that recorded, but I wasn't able to submit it.
Well, just tell me about it then.
Okay.
When do you think it happened generally?
That had to have been probably a couple weeks before getting hit in the head
So
incident.
May,
Yeah.
late April, early May.
Yep.
Okay, and what happened? Tell me what was going on.
So we were on the phone and she was just going off on me because I told her that I was hanging out with one of my friends. And she told me in the phone call that she tried to kill her baby daddy and she wouldn't be afraid of doing that to me too. So,
How did you take that? What did you think she meant by that?
well, from the stories she told me in the past, she actually tried to stab her baby daddy and he pushed it away and then she stabbed herself. So that just didn't make me feel very safe around her.
So you understood from her that she had tried to stab a prior boyfriend. Or
Yeah.
partner.
Mhm.
And so when she said she wasn't afraid to do that to you, what did you think?
I didn't feel safe at all.
What did you think she might do with that statement? What did that mean to you?
I honestly don't know. I don't ever know her next move. It could be anything. That's how the whole relationship has been. So like it's always the next step up, so like I don't know where she could have gone with it.
The next step up means what?
Worse than the previous incident.
More aggressive?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then, so did you believe that she would be willing to stab you?
Yeah, I definitely did.
All right, and then, threats to call 911, what's all that about?
Threats to call 911.
Say here,
Oh, yeah, I tried to, when she bit me one time,
she bit you and you threatened to call 911.
I threatened to call 911 and she came running after me and jumped on top of me to try to get the phone out of my hands.
You were unsuccessful or successful?
I wasn't successful in calling the cops, no.
How did that resolve?
Uh, not. We kind of just resolved it through ourselves,
So did
basically.
you go away? Did you stay? I mean, she's jumped on you and now you're in a tussle, so what
Yeah.
happened?
We kind of just talked it out and went from there. That's basically what happened.
So somehow she got off of you.
Yeah. Well, she got off of me and she was trying to tell who my parents were staying with me at the time and she was trying to yell at my parents, so that's why she got off of me.
So were your parents, did they come?
Yeah, they were there and everything.
They come to see what was going on or?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that helped quell what was going on.
Mm,
All right, and then jokes, you say she likes to make jokes about your sexuality.
mhm.
What's that about?
She just uses insults and stuff that would obviously, or that would get to me to try to make me mad.
And did it work?
Yeah,
And what would you do?
I mean, I wouldn't reciprocate. So I just, in my head, it just hurt.
Would you lash out? Would you say something? Would you harm her? What?
No,
I don't text back. She threatens to contact past and current people in my life. What's that about?
so she has tried to contact my parents on multiple occasions when they've told her not to contact her. She's contacted my best friend that is and she's tried to contact like past people in my life. So It's just,
And are those folks, I mean, they can take care of themselves as to whether they have contact with her?
yeah,
So was she saying something to them, or I mean?
she was
that-
insulting me to them, like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, and how did you discover all that?
Well, they just told me about that she was sending her messages.
All right. So what is it that you want from the court? What do you want?
I want a protection order.
What do you want it to say? What do you want it to, what do you want Ms. Williams to stop doing?
To stop hitting people.
About
Thinking it's
you,
okay.
though. This is about you.
Yeah,
Um,
stop hitting me.
Are you still issuing an order here would prevent you from having contact?
Yeah.
So like we put an end to this relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you're asking?
Yes,
All right, and so you're asking no contact with you, with?
yes. No contact with me or any of my friends or family, if that works.
And about workplace? Or
Yeah, workplace too.
school, vehicle, home, what?
Home, vehicle.
Just an absolute don't contact
Yeah.
me in any way, shape, or form?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So is there anything else that you want to say before I turn to Ms. Williams?
Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Okay, all right, so Ms. Williams, presume you object to the court issuing this order.
Correct.
Okay, so you tell me your side of things as to why there isn't unlawful harassment, or what I should know about all these statements from this petition.
So I'm just gonna go off of the statements in order that he made. So I guess the first thing is me hitting him in the back of the head with the phone. So originally this started the night before. He said, I was a little upset with him about something. He said, I love you. I didn't say it back. I just asked to cuddle with him. The next morning, he was upset about that. And it kind of led throughout the day. So he was at school. I just kind of let him do his thing throughout the day. Didn't really message him that much. And then when he came home, he was hostile, yelling at me, telling me that I'm crazy. I need to shut the fuck up. Another, like, the whole issue also with that day was I was supposed to get my tire fixed because he's been using my car to go from Auburn to Shoreline to and from school every day. And my tire got a hole in it and it was leaking air and I couldn't drive anymore. So I wanted him to help me get it fixed. So when he came home, we went straight to Walmart to try and go get something to fix it there. But the whole time we were driving, he was basically going off on me about not telling him I loved him the night before, and basically that it's not his responsibility to fix my tire when he's been using it every day, and was upset that we didn't get the stuff the night before when we were already at Walmart. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. He telling me to shut the fuck up. I knew I was getting upset about the whole situation because the way he was talking to me. So I kind of just told him, how about you go into Walmart by yourself and I'll stay in the car and we can have some space. He slammed the door, got out, came back like 15 minutes later. I was fine. I was calmed down. However, he came in immediately still just yelling at me, telling me that I am a stupid bitch, that I told him I'm not going to say anything if you don't want me to say anything. He told me to shut the fuck up multiple times. He was reckless driving on the way home with my daughter in the backseat, my 2-year-old. And going around the roundabout, he was whipping his car really fast, to just intimidate me in the car. When we got home, he was still screaming at me while fixing my tire. So at that point, I had told him, I'm going to go to a friend's house to cool down. And I will talk to you later. Like, I'll see you later. He then accused me of trying to go cheat on him. And basically got in his car. Aggressively drove out the driveway, forgot my car seat was in the back of this car. He sped down the driveway backwards at 40 miles an hour while I was walking my daughter, 2-year-old daughter down the driveway. Got out the car, threw my car seat out. I took his car keys out to get my storage key. I wasn't sure what he was going to do with my stuff in the storage unit. He wouldn't let me get the storage key off. So he yanked it out of my hands. I then just grabbed his dab pen, like he said. And I told him, I'll give this back to you as long as you just give me the storage key. Like, that's all I want. He refused, ripped my daughter's hand out of my hand, tried to pry my fingers backwards to the point where I was screaming at him, "You're going to break my fingers. Get off of me. You're going to break my fingers." He didn't listen, and that's where I started to panic. And I did hit him in the back of the head with my phone several times. While doing that, he did not get off of me. After I've asked him multiple times, "Get off of me. You're going to break my fingers." He did not let go of me while I was hitting him until my family came out and told him to get off.
So say he was, all right, so he had your hand in his hand, he was bending your fingers back to the
Yes,
point of
I
he was
had it in my hand.
What does it
Yes.
mean? How was he on you?
He was
Yeah.
like grabbing my wrist and then prying my fingers backwards like this while I had his pen in my hand. I was afraid to let go, and afraid that he would then break them if I did let go. So that's why I was telling him, "Get off of me," and then I would let go. But he wasn't listening. He was more worried about his dab pen and prying my fingers off to the point where they really felt like they were going to break. And then I felt the need to defend myself in that situation.
So how is it that he's got your hand and he's bending your fingers back? How is it that you hit him on the head with your phone?
Because my hand was like this and I had my other hand back. Like, my hand was just, this other hand was just out.
Your left hand?
Yeah, like his whole back, his whole body was in front of my person right here, with his arm tucking my arm under his arm and then prying my fingers back with his hand on my wrist and his other hand prying my fingers back. And my other arm was behind him because he's in front of me. And that's where I had my phone the whole time because I was going to call my mom. And I guess I screamed loud enough for them to hear and they came out. But before they came out, that's when I was trying to get him off of me by hitting him in the head. And he didn't get off until my family walked out and screamed at him to get off. And that's when he got off. He didn't give me the keys back after that. I gave him his dab pen back. And I was just done with the situation. My family, my mother's boyfriend, yelled at him to give the keys back, and he threw it at my daughter that was in my mom's boyfriend's arms. And he said, "If you throw something at me again, I will call the cops and you need to leave." And that's when Dylan left. So that was the whole situation that happened on the 15th. I think he does have some dates confused because after that was when him claiming that I threatened to stab him and kill him. That happened a couple days after. Actually, later that night after the whole hitting him in the back of the head situation, I did call him and ask if he was okay. He said yes. I offered to go to the hospital with him. He drove all the way down here and then we talked for a while. He asked to come see me. We had a long conversation about taking accountability that the situation shouldn't have happened. Both ends were in the wrong. But he didn't want to take that accountability. So later that night, he still asked to come over. He came over. We sat in the car and talked and had intercourse and promised me that situation would change, that he wanted to stay in this relationship. He wanted this family. He wanted to be together basically. But we just needed a separation. So he did move out. And then during that whole, between the 15th and now, there has been multiple times where we have met up and talked about our relationship multiple times. And he's told me that he wants to keep this relationship. He wants to be committed to this family. And every time he said that, he went off and cheated on me multiple times, with men and women. And he kept doing that for a long time, even before this. And that kind of, every time he would say that he wanted to keep his family, he would have sex, he would leave, and then he would ghost me.
Say that after the time that you hit him in the head with your cell phone because you felt like you had to get him off of you and protect yourself, you sometime after that, the next day, what? You had a long conversation.
Yeah, that night we had a long conversation.
That night. So, and then
relationship.
you also had intercourse, so you continued the intimate part of your relationship immediately. And then the understanding that you had was that Mr. Jenkins needed some separation, but wanted in this relationship and wanted to be part of you and the potential child that you're carrying. All right. And then, so what I'm hearing, hearing in this petition is that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of contacts from you in that time that were unwanted. Tell me about that allegation.
So he had told me that he wanted to break some separation, and that was him moving out, not being with each other all the time. But we were still going to contact each other, text each other, call each other, see each other once a week. That this was definitely still a relationship that we wanted to have, and that he was.
So how did you have that communicated to you? Was that during that long conversation?
Yes, this was most of our conversations about being together and staying in this relationship was in person. He would drive down, we would meet somewhere public, and then have conversations in the car. And then that's when we would make up, we would have sex, and then he would ghost me again. When he said that he would reply and put in the effort, but the whole time he was actually cheating on me. The reasons why he was not replying or ignoring me was because he was out with other women and men. He was messaging them.
So when you say ghosted again, what does that mean?
Basically just ignored me, stopped talking to me, stopped communicating with me.
For how long?
For days, hours, the whole time, until he was ready to have sex again, and then he would want to commit to the relationship and then have sex, and then he would ghost me again the next day after committing, and then cheat on me again. It was a very much of a cycle, the same
So it could have been just hours, it could have been a day or so.
For what?
That you wouldn't hear from him when you were contacted.
Because
did you contact him a lot? What did you do to get his attention?
I did contact him a lot, especially because it was very much mixed signals. You have sex with me, you want to tell me you want this family and this relationship, we're going to talk to each other and work on us, but you sit there and ignore me the whole day, maybe 2 days at a time, and then don't say anything about not wanting this relationship. So it was very much a lot of mind games and manipulation and controlling that he was doing, just to keep me, I believe, just to have sex. because I honestly don't know.
You don't have to speculate, but, all right, so that's what you're experiencing in the 2 weeks or so before Mr. Jenkins came to the court for this order. What
Yeah.
about previous to this event, this dispute that caused you to hit him on the head? There's, if you look at this petition, there's allegations of threats to kill. You said late April, early May. Anything you want to comment on that discussion?
On that conversation, I did not threaten to kill him. I threatened to kill myself. But that was due to the fact that
The threat to kill, what was that?
that I had threatened to kill myself during the audio recording. I did not threaten to kill him.
Threat to
To
kill
cause it-
him?
Sorry?
The allegation is that you threatened to kill him.
Yes, yes. And it also says in here that I have also threatened to kill myself. That was the only time I ever threatened to kill anyone was myself. And it was during that conversation of him cheating on me again, finding out after he was supposed to come home and fix our relationship and have another conversation with my family. And instead he chose to go to his best friend's house to console him during a divorce.
So you never threatened or didn't say anything that you attempted to stab your previous boyfriend and you're willing to do it to him? You didn't say anything along those lines?
That situation did happen with my child's father. He did try to stab me. I filed a restraining order on him for that. But I never tried to kill him, or that story, whatever he's saying is not true.
Okay, that's not true. So then why did you tell Mr. Jenkins you were going to kill yourself? Why do that? Why say that?
Yes, so this has been months of manipulation, controlling, abuse, physical abuse, mental, emotional, and committing to this family and then lying about it. And that day when we had that conversation, I had asked him, can you step outside so I can have a conversation with you without your friend being around? And I basically poured my heart out to him. I told him how much his family means to me and that I really wanted us to work. And that I just don't understand why he continues to hurt me like this and take advantage of me. And
so why did you tell him you were going to kill yourself?
After
I advantage, why?
Yeah, I'm getting to that point. After I said all that, his friend was there laughing with me, laughing at me, and Dylan decided to laugh at me and make jokes at me for being vulnerable like that. And that's when I just fell apart, just completely. So after all of that, months of going on and all that, I just was so exhausted and tired of just being used and made to be a joke when I'm 6 months pregnant with his baby, and I have told him how much I've wanted this family, and he's begged me for this family, and then to just be made a joke to his friends.
So why did you think that was the solution, or why did you tell him that?
That was just pure emotion coming out, just pure I broke down, just pure like giving up and just being so drained from the emotional abuse. The laughing just made me feel so worthless and so used, and so I mean I'm that
all right,
just something
so
that
then you did not, you dispute that you threatened to harm him as you, because the previous boyfriend actually tried to harm you, is what you're saying, not you trying to stab him, the previous boyfriend.
No, he's known that story. That was the I told him that from the beginning, that that was the situation with my last relationship. And yeah.
What about this idea that you bit him? What was that?
Yes.
Do you remember this allegation?
I can get to that. That was three or 4 months into our relationship. We had been living in a van together and working, and his parents offered us to go live in a trailer 3 hours from here in Long Beach. So I basically dropped everything and moved my daughter and myself 3 hours away from my support system to be there with him till he was able to start his job. Like that was his schooling that was supposed to happen 3 months after that. So we moved there. We were there for about 3 days. That day that whole situation happened, all started from an argument about where to buy salmon. And I simply said, I don't want to go buy salmon anymore. Please take me back to the trailer. Because it was a really stupid, big argument over salmon. So he was aggressively driving, reckless driving, and drove us back to the trailer. At that point, I was really upset at the fact that he doesn't care for our safety in the car to drive like that. So I told him he was driving, by the way, like I said. So I told him when we got to the trailer, I would like to go get some space. So I'm just going to drive off for 10-15 minutes. He then got upset with me that I said that, took my keys out and threw them at me while I was at the time 3 months pregnant. And I got out the car, took my daughter out and walked into the trailer while he stormed in there. And I just asked what was his problem. And basically was just going off on me. I don't remember how that argument ended up happening, but he asked me to leave. And I said, totally fine with me. That was the whole point of me trying to get my keys. But I didn't have a phone at the time because a previous situation that he did not mention, a month after us being together, he had
to the point, this allegation that you bit him. Can you tell me?
Yeah, this leading up to this whole situation, because it's a lot of abuse in this whole thing, and that it was self-defense. Basically, he tried to drag me out of the trailer to kick me out while I was asking for my phone that he was going to use to call the cops. He told me to leave. I was trying to, but I didn't have a phone because he destroyed it the month before. And I was 3 hours away and it was 10 o'clock at night. So I needed a phone to get home. So that's when I tried to grab the phone to leave instead of him trying to call the cops. And when I had the phone, he grabbed my arm next to my 2-year-old daughter and tried to literally drag me out of the trailer. That's when I bit his hand because I kept telling him to get off of me. Again, he would not let go. And that's when I bit him, and then he got off of me, and his mother came in and started to intimidate my 2-year-old daughter and myself. And they all kind of piled in on me after I told them that I'm trying to leave. He's not letting me.
Right. So you bite his hand, and the mom was there as well?
Yes. This actually,
in the trailer?
What was that?
In the trailer?
They were outside of the trailer. I had yelled to them to come and help the situation.
Right. And that's what resolved immediately?
Not what resolved immediately. What resolved is when my mother was called because they were starting to.
No, I mean the physical aspect of it.
Oh yeah, after
he's dragging you out, you bite his hand.
I screamed for.
Was there further conflict there? Physical conflict?
What was that?
Was there further physical conflict then, or did it just stop with you biting his hand?
It stopped with me biting his hand.
And his mother appears.
And they start basically verbally attacking me, intimidating me and my daughter to get out the trailer, which I was trying to, but I could not because they had my phone and I didn't have a phone. He had.
So how did it all resolve? So how did you get on your way that night?
I did. I got in the car and I was ready to leave, but I was not able to go anywhere. And Dylan begged me to not leave. He then said that he would come with me, and basically told me he wanted this family. He wanted to stay and that he's willing to come back with me and live at my grandpa's house after the situation. So that's when that situation resolved. But on the way during that situation, he also said that I hit him in the head because he braked really hard. While we packed up the car and we were leaving, we were crossing to Astoria on a bridge, on a really high bridge. He was going about 80 miles an hour downhill with my 2-year-old daughter in the back. I yelled at him to slow the car down, and he abruptly smashed on the brake pedal, and my daughter's car seat kind of flung forward a little bit because of how hard the brake was. That is when I smacked him in the head and asked him what is wrong with him. Like, why would you do that? I yelled at him to get out the car. He refused to get out the car until we got off the bridge, and then got out the car and we switched. And that's when we drove home and then had that conversation again about him wanting the family and begging me and wanting to do this because I was ready to leave. So that's the whole situation with the biting the hand and the hitting in the smacking him in the head with the brake pedal.
Okay, so let me ask you, with all of this, Mr. Jenkins says that he's doesn't feel safe with you. Do you feel safe with him?
Honestly, there has been so many situations where I've had to defend myself physically from him, from abusing me, and I don't feel safe. Honestly, I don't mind this order being put in place. The only thing don't agree with is the extra stuff he's requesting, like the mental evaluation, the treatment, and the phone and ankle monitoring that he's requesting from me. I don't think that's necessary.
Well, that's a fair thing to talk about. This court doesn't have that authority to order that, will not order it. These petitions are designed by an agency called the Administrator of the Courts, and they're meant to work for lots of different courts, unfortunately. So they lead people to believe that the district court has powers it doesn't have. So no, don't have the authority to order anyone to get into any kind of treatment or to any of those things. So that won't happen no matter what, if I issue this order or not. So you should know that.
I would just like to say that I don't have any desire to be near this man, to contact him. For all the mental, physical, and emotional abuse he has put me through since this petition has been requested, I've had so much peace in my life, and I don't really feel the need to have him any part of it. So I honestly don't think this petition is necessary, also just because it would kind of affect me getting a job, because I do work in retail and they do kind of frown upon petitions like this, because anyone and everyone's welcome into the store, and they just don't want situations happening because I'm working there or something like that. So I don't think he wants any part of his family, any part of his baby. I don't mind that. I don't really care. I just want this whole situation to be over with, honestly.
All right, let me just kind of look through things again, make sure I don't have any other questions of either one of you. So, Mr. Jenkins, Ms. Williams, this court's not going to issue an order on behalf of Mr. Jenkins nor behalf of Ms. Williams. I mean, I was toying with flipping the sides, which the law allows me. This is a dangerous relationship. I want you to hear that loud and clear. You are being dangerous to each other. Dangerous relationship. You need to, both of you have been engaging in episodes that put you both at risk, put your put your partner at risk, other people at risk. The court doesn't find, I think there's domestic violence being committed by both sides, or self-defense being had to be used by Ms. Williams. I'm not going to issue an order. I think that's going to create a situation that would be kind of feed into harming Ms. Williams more than the order would protect anything from. All of a sudden, then she's a domestic violence crime victim, as you are as well, Mr. Jenkins, and all of a sudden there's an order that somebody has a little power more so, and you're both using the same sort of power and control over each other, which is really dangerous. Now, whether you have contact with each other, you're adults, you're going to make that decision. Obviously, there's a child on the way, but that doesn't mean anything. You don't have to be part of that. But at this stage, without more, from what I've heard, I don't find a basis under the law to issue an order protecting Mr. Williams from, or Mr. Jenkins from Ms. Williams. I hope that the two of you can find a way not to put yourselves in these situations that are dangerous for both of you. So the order ends today. That doesn't mean you have to have any kind of contact. That's it for today. So Mr. Jenkins, that's it.
Thank you.
And Ms. Williams, you can be on your way.